Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus full moon lunar eclipse for the month of March tarot oracle reading. And Scorpio, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Scorpio, we still all have a little bit of Scorpio in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Scorpio in, that's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. Just keep in mind this is a general or collective reading, so parts may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading. This means if you're watching it right now, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? If you take a look at that, you may get further clarity as to your situation. All right, we're going to begin with the tarot portion of the reading, which is about 2/3 of the reading, and then we will clarify with my oracle for those of you who want further clarification. So for now, we're going to begin with the underlying energy, and we do have the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is talking about immature competition. This is my Mean Girls card. Think about grade 4 girls in cheerleading, and they can tell the other team has clearly done better than them and that they should win, but they don't care. They want to win and they'll do anything to win. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will. It's that kind of energy. Immature competition, what I mean by that is some people, until people mature enough and they learn that no matter what kind of competition you're in, the competition is really with yourself, because you could be competing against another team, but if you do your best on your team and then you're a good team player, it's going to be more likely that your team will do better. And so you can learn from the competition. If you see another team doing things better than you, watch them and learn, and then the next time apply that to your practices and get better at what you do that way. So learning from the competition is something that mature people do. And this is the Emperor. So the Emperor is sitting on his throne, and he is all about performance. We haven't seen the Emperor for a while in my readings. He's been missing. We'll see what he's up to here in this reading, Scorpio. This is your energy. So the internal forces are the underlying energy is the Emperor. As I said, he's all about performance. He is like having all the 4 kings from the minor arcana rolled into one. He has his armor under his robe here, so he's ready to get up and go in a moment's notice. He is always looking for opportunity, and he is like what you would consider the alpha male energy. He's really admired for his business acumen, for his intelligence, for his ability to control his emotions and therefore be emotionally available. He's also, able to bring shift that is in his mind down to earth and make it happen. He's just the sort of person that people look up to and would be at the very top of his field, like a CEO, or if he's running a country, he's the president or the prime minister kind of energy, or an actual emperor or a king, that kind of energy. He's someone that is at the top of his game, whatever choice of profession that he's in. And so this is talking about the Six of Wands represents a victory. So this is saying that the reason why this person is victorious, these people in the background, maybe at some point where this competition here, you notice there's 5 here. It's when you rein in your emotions and you allow yourself to do, as I said, like treat the competition as a learning curve, then you become a really good leader that way. And people start to recognize you as a leader. So then the competitions, they might be even jealous still or whatever. but they're going to say, hey, that person really improved and they are a leader and they do deserve to be the captain of the team kind of energy. Because you've reined in your emotions, you're able to use your energy to be better at whatever you're doing, like the Emperor, rather than wasting a bunch of energy on useless anger and sadness because you didn't win that one little medal. That kind of energy. So we have the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is talking about this is a gift from the divine. We're seeing a lot of aces pop up in the readings this time around, and I feel that's because we're really moving into some very new energy right now. And the Ace of Cups represents like a divine partner being sent in by God himself, someone handpicked just for you. And the universe and God are conspiring for you to meet this person if you haven't already. Someone that brings peace into your life and also an overflowing abundance of love. The energy here is, you see the lilies growing, and that's because out of the mud does grow the most beautiful flowers. And I guess the energy, this may say you've been working hard to stay on your path, and it would really benefit you at this time to have someone in your life that you could count on as a companion and, someone that you love. And here we have the King of Pentacles coming in. So here's one of the energies of the kings. This is talking about the pentacles are health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. Basically, money is a part of that, so it is represented by the coin, but you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you would prefer to live. And so this is talking, the King of Pentacles is someone that's admired for his business acumen. This would be someone that would possibly work, in the banking system in some capacity. They'd be high up though. And the energy could also be accountants and financial advisors, that kind of energy. If they would be like a partner in the firm kind of energy. There also could be a lot, because the elements pentacles represent the element of earth. So quite often this is about real estate, people who are developers, someone that like a very successful real estate person, mortgage brokers. This can also represent stockbrokers, that kind of energy. And so someone who really understands how money works and how to put money to work. And then we have, it could also be a businessman, like an entrepreneur that has a very successful company. We have the Chariot, and the Chariot is representing that you are on your destined path. And because of that, the Chariot is like a tank. Dunk, 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 dunk. It just gets there, and you'll notice there's no reins here. There's no need for reins, because the Chariot moves in the direction that you're destined to move in through God's plan. I have my little cat here, Stella. She just woke up and realized I snuck out of there, and I'm sorry I snuck away from you because I was thinking it would be nice to do a reading without a cat on my lap. But she takes her job seriously, so her job is to sit on my lap and purr. She's already got happy feet, so we're in good paws. A cat's purr does raise the vibration, very high. It's a healing energy. So she really actually does a very good job, don't you? Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. She's so sweet. All right, so the Chariot is also represents that there could be karma coming in to be cleared. There is a tower here. We do have a tower. So the tower represents the energy of a reality check, basically. And the tower is usually not the most pleasant experience. Towers tend to happen at the worst possible time. It's just the way it is. And they're unexpected, like you're like just out of the blue, bang, there's a tower. Yet it's interesting because the towers show up when you have been like the universe will speak to us and gently at first, and it'll be a whisper, you know, you might want to take a look at that. And then you don't. So then the universe takes the frying pan out and whacks you over the head with it and says, hey, you want to take a look at that? And you're like, ouch, that hurt. But, you know, I don't have time to handle it right now. I will, you know, next week I'll take care of it, I promise. But then you don't take care of it. And then the next thing you know, the 2x4 comes out and you still don't take care of it. So then we have to have the lightning hit. And this is an energy of, you know, they're falling out of their tower here in the castle, and it's on fire. And so now, you know, they can't ignore this, because now they have to rebuild here. And that's the energy of the tower. It's meant to force you to take a look at shift that you don't want to take a look at, and fix it. And if you can't fix it, well then the universe will fix it for you. It's kind of like that energy. It's a kind of a, at the time, towers are really, really challenging, but a year later or so, you know, things tend to work out, and you sometimes will look back and say, you know, that was the best thing that could ever happen to me. Couldn't see it at the time. A lot of times people will say that after some time has passed after a tower. And then we have, because after the tower, a lot of opportunities come in. And so we have 7 cups here, and each of these cups represents a gift from the universe for you. And each of them has a different, like one has a snake in it, one has a mushroom in it, one has beautiful, you know, it's about beauty. We have flowers, a laurel, whatever's in all the cups. These are meant for you. It's like this is destined for you. And so this is you here. You're like a black hole, and you're orchestrating this. You're the one who is pulling them in, and you'll put them in the order that you want them in, and you know, choose which opportunities you want to work on first, and then, you know, how much energy you want to put into them. They will often show up as challenges, because more often than not, possibilities will show up as a challenge. They'll be disguised that way, because the universe wants you to put your own energy into it and get it moving. So we have, we're just going to look at what are the internal forces here. So internal forces are when you're saying to yourself, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or what if they do this, then what if I do that? That kind of energy, and it can keep you in a loop of thinking over and over again the same thing without really coming to a solution. So this is your self-image right now. So this is saying you're victorious, you've accomplished something, and you are being considered as a leader now because of it. We have, some of the people might still be like grudgingly following you, but they are admitting that, hey, this person's a leader. And so this is talking about your abundance and self-worth. And so you feel that you have a lot of love to give, and that you deserve to have a lot of love in return. So that's a really good energy. And perhaps right now, that's what you're really missing in your life, is you want to have love in your life. We have communication from your early life. So this is saying that you were raised in a family. Quite often this card represents generational wealth, like a legacy that's passed down from children to another. You might be a trust fund baby, that kind of energy. And so this energy is saying that you've been raised in a family that is probably upper class or higher, and you understand money, like to a certain extent already, just by growing up, by having it around, and having parents that probably educate you regarding money. And then we have the communication and emotional foundation. And so this is saying that you are doing your best to stay on your destined path. And, you know, when you stay on your destined path, then more opportunities come in. Now, there has been a tower of some sort There's nothing in your energy here indicating that the tower is coming from you. It's more like it's coming from outside of you. And so this can, the what ifs quite often are, the internal forces are about how you react or respond to any situation. So if it's an external force causing the reality check, then it's going to, you still will have your ability to respond or react in the way that would benefit you, rather than to fall apart basically, and really get put down, have your energy really taken down. And then we have this health and daily routines and habits. So yeah, I feel like you're pretty used to having a lot of opportunities. If you're raised in a family that's upper middle class kind of energy, you probably do have a lot of opportunities, and that's kind of how you're used to. But these opportunities are going to change your daily habits and routine in that. So it's something like, it could be whatever it is, that when you apply yourself to it, you're going to find that maybe you get really into doing it and you're really enjoying it. And so, you change your daily routine. Or you might change, your scheduling so that you can fit it in if it's a hobby or whatever that is. We have temperance as the external force. So temperance is about patience. It's about having the patience to stay on your path, on your destined path. And a lot of people feel that this card actually represents the earth angel energy, which in the Bible it says there's 144,000 angels that God sends down to earth. And this is, a lot of people feel that that's what this card represents. This is talking about having the patience to be able to put your own special qualities into the universal pool and then bring that and ground that onto earth. And we have, here is your destined path in the background here. And this is like your path of glory. And so it's like, stay on the path. It's that simple. And a lot of times people complicate this. And they'll be like, oh, how am I going to do this? And they'll go through all these, jump through all these hoops, when all they have to do is just go down the path, And it's not as exciting as thinking about all the other, like the rituals and all of that other stuff that you need to do. But that really is just get on the path and stay on it. We have the High Priestess coming in. So the High Priestess represents, she's sitting in between two towers here. They're like pillars, not towers, sorry. And one of them is representing Jesus and the other one is representing the devil. And so it's these extremes that she's sitting in between. And the High Priestess is very highly intuitive. So she follows this crescent moon at her feet, represents her ability to use the cycles of the moon, to use her intuition to move forward in life. And so she is very, very intuitive, sits next to God on the throne next to him, and can, really feel the energy and understand what to do with it. Now, we have, this is in your position of marriage and partnership and commitments. So you may be wanting to be with someone that is very intuitive, or God is sending in someone that's very intuitive, because maybe you are more logical kind of energy, and it would be a good mix. Let's see what else is going on here. We have, okay, yes, this is talking about, for some reason, it feels like this card can quite often represent being breadcrumbed. Like not getting as much out of a situation as you could. And maybe that's why this intuition card is coming in here. So the breadcrumbing, this is talking about the give and take in life and learning. And it's a skill that we acquire. This person is receiving coins from and this person is not. He's got a scale hanging above this person's head, and it's because he already has something in his pocket. So he's like, get back to work, you bum, and I'll give some money to this person. So the Six of Pentacles represents being able to have enough money to give to others, but at the same time, it's talking about maybe you feeling like you're being breadcrumbed, that that you should be being paid more for your work, or for your time and your energy. Remember, the Pentacles aren't just money; they're time and energy and money, basically, and this is in the position of a transition, of a big change coming. It's really interesting here because there's not a lot of energy in this reading that's really talking about anything specific as of yet. Okay, so now it's talking about the soulmate coming in. So that's this energy that God wants to send to you. And maybe that's why I just said that, because it's kind of now a lot more is coming in. So your soulmate is sent to you. It's an agreement that two souls have together to meet at some point, and be able to be there for each other when both are ready to go on their path. And it's an interesting phenomena, because when you meet a soulmate, it's really interesting. When you talk to them, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I had that happen when I was 5, and I had that happen, and yeah, I'm on, I was married once and it didn't work out. They were, and it would be for the same reasons, but they might be living a very different lifestyle, and be very different from you, but at the same time, they have shared a lot of similar experiences that you have. And so there's an understanding between you. Now, this is the Hermes symbol, and this is represents communication. And so this energy is talking also about you being able to communicate with your higher self, what I call the higher self network. It's like the internet. It's very similar to the internet. You communicate in that way, but the difference is that in the higher self network, you're on it 24/7, whether you know it or not. And so where generally, if you're on the internet, you're on the internet, unless you're on the dark web by some nasty friends or something. That happens too. So, but generally you do know if you're on the internet. So this is talking about communication. And this symbol represents Mercury energy, the planet of communication. And actually we just moved into a Mercury retrograde on the 26th. And so we're at the end of the month now. It's actually the first day of March as I do this reading. So we've been in Mercury retrograde for about a week, and you may notice that there may be some communication glitches or technology going wrong. I've had one heck of a week with my HVAC, and it was beeping, and no one in the building could seem to tell me what was like, oh, no one else's has ever beeped. Finally, when I phoned different companies, it was like, what? It's beeping? It doesn't beep. And I'm like, okay, well, mine is. Then I was like, okay. It was like a gong show almost, trying to figure it out. But then I was very blessed to have an awesome technician come. And one of my neighbors said, oh no, there's a reset button on it, and it does beep. And because it was going off at all times of day and night for about 4 days. And I was like trying to figure out, like, is there something wrong with is there like a water sensor in the building and that's it? Or is it, and it was just like, man. And in the meantime, like, I was also working on doing my books and having to communicate with Revenue Canada and also with a company, and it was like a gong show. But I just started to laugh. I realized, oh, it's Mercury retrograde. I realized it after about 2 hours in, and now everything's all sorted out. But it took, what normally would take you just a short amount of time, it took me forever. And I was like, but I just refused to get upset by it. I was like, well, I'll figure it out. And that's the kind of attitude you have to have in Mercury retrograde. And also, a lot of times, people will come in from the past that you haven't seen for a very long time, that you haven't heard from, and all of a sudden they'll show up. or, you know, people that you used to work with, whatever, you'll bump into them. It's that kind of energy. The past comes back so that if you can clean up anything that you missed maybe. And so quite often, you know, ex-lovers, that kind of energy, they'll come back and maybe want to come back and that kind of, you know, so it's, but the soulmate energy is, this would be someone that you haven't met yet in this case, because God is sending them into you now. And this energy is someone that is going to inspire you to be able to be the best version of yourself, and you'll do the same for them. And so that is generally, it quite often is a romantic love partner, but it doesn't have to be. It's more fun if it is, but you know, it just depends on your situation. And so that is in your position of higher learning, which totally makes sense. The other energy that I wanted to talk about is this new moon energy that's at the bottom of the High Priestess's feet. Because we had, on the 17th, we had a new moon, and it was in the sign of Aquarius. And the Aquarius energy was being opposed by the Leo energy. On the horoscope wheel, whatever the sign is directly opposite yours is one that is, it's important in your life. What's happening in that sign usually has quite an effect on you. And the sun was opposing the moon in Aquarius, and Leo was opposing it. And so this was an energy of, and you may have noticed it, like a back and forth energy. And it was whether the group, am I going to put all my energy into the group energy and put them first? Or am I going to, and this is about leadership, or am I going to be like the Leo is saying, no, if I'm going to be a leader, I need to look after myself. I need to be able to put myself in a position where I can express myself clearly so that I can lead the group. And then I'll put the needs of the group. And so there was a back and forth about that. And then at the same time, it was also the first day of the Chinese New Year. And we moved into the year of the fiery horse energy. And this fiery horse energy showed up right away in the reading. So it's taught, and you know, this is about victory of being able to move into leadership. So whatever that struggle maybe was within you, you must have chosen yourself because you became a good leader, and now you're ready to lead is what I'm getting. That's the energy coming in with the fiery horse energy. Also, there was an eclipse at the same time, and that eclipse was a solar eclipse. So for a short period of time, from the perspective of the Earth, the sun was blocked out by the moon. So there's still a lot of hidden elements here that are not really clear, and that's kind of the energy I'm getting. There's just this kind of like there's no clear message here. What was the rally, the tower, like what happened? The energy is pretty, yeah, you're going along and doing your life. Now what? We have the Queen of Pentacles coming in, and the Queen of Pentacles, well, okay, now we have an energy. She's an external force, and you're an internal force for your King of Pentacles. So this generally, when the Queen and King are a couple, they generally are a very stable couple, and someone that, you know, you can really rely on, and that enjoys the same kind of lifestyle as you do, which would make sense. So this could be saying that your energy is the King of Pentacles, and maybe the one thing that you've been missing because you've been working so hard on the pentacle end of things, that now you're ready for your true love. Perhaps you're looking at wanting to be in a position where you start a family, and you know, and your intuition is maybe saying to you, hey, it's time. And so the Queen of Pentacles is known for being very resourceful, someone that's very reliable that you can count on. She prefers quality over quantity. This represents generational wealth and a legacy of wealth. So it's saying that she also comes from that same upbringing. So someone that understands you know, lifestyle, the lifestyle that you're used to living. That's the kind of energy. So this could be the cup of love that's coming in, because this is, and also someone that would be very powerful for your reputation. What do they say? Behind every great man is a good woman. That kind of energy. Or behind every great woman is a good man kind of energy. And because when we're looking at the characters from the tarot, they are archetypes. And so this king could actually represent a female in her masculine energy, as well as a male. And the queen could be the male in his feminine energy. And so that kind of energy being there. So I feel like this might be the energy coming in. The soulmate that's being promised to you is coming in. And this is just a nice, easy reading. And then we have reconciliation. So reconciliation, this card is coming up a lot because it's also a card, this card represents reconciliation of your childhood sometimes. And it can also just be reconciliation with someone that from your past. And as I said, being that we're in this energy of the Mercury retrograde pretty much for the month of March. It's till the 20th, and then it lingers for a bit. This energy of mixed communication and technology not working 100%. And also going back in time. And like, so this can represent going home for a reunion or whatever, you know, a high school reunion. Maybe you go for a reunion and you bump into someone that you haven't seen since high school, and now they're looking pretty good. And you're like, whoa, you've grown up. And hey, yeah, you've grown up too. And maybe at one point you dated back then, but it was a long time ago, or it could have even been from elementary school. The thing about this card is if you're reconciling with someone other than yourself, like your childhood, then it implies that there's some sort of forgiveness that needs to come about first. Forgiveness paves the path to reconciliation. Having said that, you could forgive someone and not want to hang out with them and not reconcile with them, but this is what this card is about. And this is also talking about, there can be a lot of illusions from the past. And maybe that's the energy here, is there was a lot of energy that you weren't aware of maybe when you were younger. You know, when we live in families that are, you know, on the surface are really doing really well in the society, and everybody gets the good grades, and you know, you move on and there's not really any major upsets or whatever. We sometimes don't really know what the underlying energies are as much as someone that's raised in a family that has a lot of dysfunction. So that's the kind of energy. I feel like this reconciliation could be somehow bumping into this person. We don't have any knights or any pages coming in with any communication, which is why it's kind of challenging to see what is this really about. I mean, there is some competition here, which is the underlying energy. Now, the competition could be like, maybe you're a very highly desirable person, and you have all sorts of opportunities when it comes to, you know, your partner that you could date, and you're trying to use your intuition to see which one would be the best one. It could be that kind of energy. This competition could be about pentacles. It could be about, really, we have this leadership role. So I feel like this is, you know, this energy feels to me more about business than romance. But then we have this romantic love coming in. So that may be the one thing that you're missing, and that you've been feeling like, okay, that's what's missing in my life. I want to have someone that I can share my abundance with. And so this card, the illusions that we have, it looks at first glance like there's two children playing here, and they're playing with these potted flowers, and someone's watching over them. But then when you look again, you realize, hey, that's not a child, that's a gnome. And this is a woman, like a little woman. And hey, when you look at her from the front, she looks like she's young, but when you look at her from the back, she's an old hag. And this actually represents people pleasing. So are you someone that is, oh yes, yes, of course I'll take your pot of flowers. And the old hag is saying, no, we don't want your pot of flowers. Put it down. It's not even your pot of flowers. And she's got her white glove on and she's like, I don't want to, she doesn't want to get her hands dirty. And so this is talking like, are you able to say no to people, or do you have to, are you a people pleaser? And then this energy also, the white flowers in these pots represent innocence. So white flowers in tarot represent innocence, but these flowers are anything but innocent because it's datra. And datra is from the nightshade family, so it's highly poisonous, toxic when you ingest it. Like you would know, like for a child or a pet, it could make them very sick. With an adult, they would just probably feel really rough. And so this energy is... the datra sometimes is also used by shamans to create visions. So there's another element of it, of an illusion. And these flowers are just not something you would let children play with. So they're not safe. And so that's an illusion. And then when you look, this person that's watching over them is actually walking away. So he's walking, like, which was okay because they're not children anyway. But it's that kind of energy, like, nothing is the way it really seems. And quite often that's, you know, if you go back to a reunion and you run into people again and they've changed so much and it's just like, or they haven't changed at all, is the energy, right? And so it can be like really like, wow, it's just different going back in time. And then we have the Two of Wands here. So this person is standing on the top of their turret. Well, they were. This isn't you clearly, because this energy, if this is an external force, this is someone that wants to expand their horizons. And this could be you actually, because you might have expanded your horizons after this reality check hit, because this castle isn't standing. Maybe you rebuilt it, and this is talking about after this hit. That could be after you, okay, I can see that. That makes it more clear. There's you're on your destined path. A reality check comes, and I mean it's a pretty serious one. But then there's opportunities after that, and it's regarding a mate for sure, like this, because this is this intuition card, and feeling like you've never really been able to meet that person, but then a soulmate comes in. And it could be the Queen of Pentacles energy, and it could also be someone from your past. And now you've rebuilt, and maybe you've rebuilt with this person. But now that you've rebuilt this, you're wanting to expand your horizon some more. Or it can represent an energy where this happened and you rebuilt it. And when you rebuilt it, it made you realize, like, oh, like there's so many opportunities out there, and now I want to expand my horizons and, you know, move on to a different location. And this quite often can represent like a franchise energy for me. So it could represent like you've been very successful here, and then when you had to rebuild, it made you realize, hey, maybe I want to rebuild in a different location. And so then you do that with your soulmate. That could be the energy for the, you know, past, present, future, depending. Because there's no real clear, okay, what is this about, other than real life, basically. But if you're looking to meet someone and you're like in that position, or you just feel like, you know, my life isn't complete without having love in it. Like I want to have like my true soulmate lover, and I'm ready for that now. It's that kind of energy. So I'm going to clarify it to see maybe we can have a little more excitement. We should be happy though. This is a very calm reading. And the eclipse coming up on March 3rd is the second eclipse of this. And so I feel like that's just 2 days away from now. And so the eclipse coming up is Virgo energy. And that Virgo energy is wanting to get your domestic life in order, which makes sense here. so that you can prepare for some new coming in. And if that is someone that, you know, you want to meet here. And perhaps with this new eclipse, that's when you will. But it's saying the Virgo energy is opposed by Pisces energy. And the Pisces energy is all dreamy, kind of, you know, like more of an energy of, oh, things will work out. And, you know, you don't need to put that much effort into it and whatever. But the Virgo energy is saying, no, clean things up, get everything in order, make sure that you're ready to go because something's coming in for you and you want to be ready. And you don't want to bring someone on a date back to your dilapidated castle. You want to have one that's actually standing. That might be more impressive. That's kind of energy I'm feeling. It's kind of a like a lackadaisical reading. It's like you don't really have any problems. It's like, why are you watching this? I'm just joking, but like so the eclipse coming in is actually a lunar eclipse. So this time the sun is really going to shine. The opposing energy of Pisces, of being, hey, chill out, enjoy your life now, like, you know, and that's when you get in that energy that you meet this person and you move forward. Like maybe you feel like you've accomplished as much as you want to, and now you want to move off, and like this is having the world in your hands, and maybe you want to move off and start traveling around the world and just chilling out kind of energy instead of working so hard. But you want to do it with someone, you don't want to do it alone. That could very easily be. And no wonder there's so much competition for you then. If you have the money to do it, I bet you lots of people are like, yeah, I'll do that with you. But like this is kind of it's like a very, whatever. It's not anything really serious. I mean, when this happened, it was serious, and there's 2 people falling out of here. So you might have had a bad relationship, or 2, or maybe even 7. And that didn't turn out, that kind of energy. I'm just picking up someone who's a little bit more mature and just, didn't take it serious, like just didn't, it's not what you wanted at the time. And now you're like, yeah, now I do. It's that kind of energy. So we're going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and that's TAILS. So I have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and the pictures, the paintings that I did for this oracle are in the order of the numbers on here. I'll put them in the order they appear here if you want to take a look at them to see, maybe that will give you more clues as to what this reading is about. But I really do feel like if you take a look, and this is something I've been telling people at this eclipse coming up, it's going to shed more light on the situation. And right now in the world, I feel like you maybe you're having after this reality check, I feel like you've just changed your attitude to be more easygoing, is what I'm getting. And right now we're seeing a lot of different energies happening in the world with the Epstein files coming out and all of that energy. And it's kind of like the whole world is kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Like there's so much happening. And then yesterday now it's almost 2 days ago, we have that situation in Iran now, which is pretty wild. And the interesting energy about this eclipse is back in 2007, there was an almost identical astrological energy here. It was almost exactly the same on March the 3rd. So if you go back and you look at what was going on for me at that time is I was starting this oracle, and now I'm working to finish it and put it out there. I've had it out, I've been working on it since 2007, because there's some really big paintings, and there was 64 of them, and I was teaching seminars at the time, and I was really busy. I'm an artist, so I had a lot of fun doing it, but it's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and it had a lot of information coming to me, and I was like, okay, I'll paint it. And now when I looked back, March is exactly when I started my oracle in 2007. And so I found that interesting. And when I looked into it, there's also the date of in 1980. What were you doing? And if you're not old enough to have been doing something in 1980 that you can remember, what were your parents doing, or what was going on in the world at that time, kind of energy. You know, in the situation with Iran, the leader, he came into leadership in 1979, which is like right before 1980, the spring of 1980, and has been, and until now, when the same energy is coming around, he's been taken out. And so that kind of energy is kind of like what this is about. So I started my in 1980. I was backpacking. I went on a backpacking trip for 4 months to Australia, and I was only going for 4 months, but I stayed a year and a half because I loved Australia. But that set me on my path for most of the 80s. Then I would work 2 or 3 jobs, and then I would you know, have enough money, and I would go to a country, and I'd go until I couldn't, you know, go for a few weeks or whatever, and then come back and work again and do it all over again. And the other date, the time when there was similar energy to this, was in 1988. And when I looked back, I was like, oh, what was I doing in 1988? And that was the last year I was single. By 1990, I had a baby and I was married. So it's kind of like this profound change that comes over, but it's over a 6-month period, generally, the eclipse energy. So it's kind of like, it can be very life-changing. So look back, put in the comment box below if there is anything. People have been sharing some of their experiences with the other readings, and it's interesting. So we have lack of awareness is coming in for this energy for the internal forces. And so this is never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. So on some level, there's something that was missing in your life, and I feel like it's this energy, but it was kind of like maybe you missed something about having, like the thing is about the King and the Queen of Pentacles, they're the most boring couple, like, you know, what people would say, because a lot of, they don't have a whole lot of fighting or drama or anything, and that's what this energy feels like. And it's like some people who have been raised with drama when they're younger find that really challenging. But I feel like for you, that's just your energy. But lack of awareness, being aware of the situation, because there was some sort of reality check here that hit you, and it could have just been something within yourself that said, hey, I'm not as happy as I thought I was. That kind of energy, missed opportunities. The Magician is coming in here. So this is talking about an energetic upgrade, stepping into this leadership role. The Tower, it's saying, yeah, there's going to be a Tower here. And okay, this is clarifying. The Tower is about this energy here, about not having the love in your life, and maybe the reasons why. That you would know. I'm starting to pick up some energy that there could be childhood memories that that are coming back to you now, and maybe some of them weren't so pleasant. And so the ego is a karmic space that we can get into, and it's kind of like you need to keep your ego in check. And that's the kind of energy, like when you kind of get in energy, your ego will say, oh, you have it all now, you don't need to stretch yourself, you don't need, what do you need with love in your family? Like, keep it simple, you know, like that kind of energy. And so the ego can sometimes stop you from having opportunities that otherwise you would. And also it can prevent you from meeting people because you need to keep your ego in check and let your ego know, no, I am not just you know, a human being. I am a soul traveling in a human body, and I want to have as many experiences as I can so that I can expand my horizons. And sometimes we have to have reality checks to do that. The Cancer energy here is talking about the energy of adolescence, of young girls actually that are moving into their cycle and being very, they can, you know, the energy, that now that's dramatic, the volatile energy there. And so it's kind of, on some level, I feel that this reality check brought up something from your childhood that maybe was really something you buried. And maybe that's why you didn't have love in your life. And so that was the benefit of this, because that's bringing in the right after, like, look at, we have right before we have the Chariot and this energy of the moon, and that's these two eclipses. And we're right in between that energy right now. And then we have the Chariot on the tower, which causes you to get on your divine path. And so, and the tower is sitting here saying, hey, pay attention. There's someone in your life right now. Use your intuition. You're missing out on a bunch of opportunities here. And the one thing that you're missing is this love. And it's waiting for you. Like, you need to, you know, you need to embrace that energy. We have, a lack of communication with this retrograde energy could actually work in your favor for some reason, I'm getting, when it comes to that, for bringing this energy in. For some reason, it's something connected to this tower. The reason why you meet, you'll know what the tower is. I feel like it's a very personal tower. And that's why I'm not even supposed to know what it is. You know what it is, though. So this is talking about whatever this tower brought about, it brings about this energy where you realize, hey, I really do want to have, maybe you met someone and you're like, oh, no, that's too good to be true, or, you know, I don't really need that. And now this is saying, no, you do. Use your intuition. This is talking the external forces. You've been patient and you've been on your divine path and you've been successful. But now it's time to be successful in love. And I feel like there's something that you're supposed to be doing, and you're feeling it. Like you're wanting to move into this new energy, but you need it's about having the partner to do it with. That's the kind of contracts that soulmates make. And isn't because this eclipse energy, if you look back at, at those dates that I mentioned, it might give you clarity for that. I mean, we're looking at such crazy times on the earth right now with the Epstein files and all this information coming out, and then this whole situation with Iran. And when I looked and I was like, holy, that 1980 date was when Khomeini came into power there. And so it's wild that it's happening now again. And so it's that kind of life-changing. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. Dissemination of information. Elephant, what elephant? There's something in the room that you're not looking at. And I feel like you've met someone and this is your soulmate, but you're convincing yourself, oh no, it's my imagination, that kind of energy. We also have Sagittarius coming in. Now I want to point out, when these signs come out, I'm not talking it's a Sagittarius, a Virgo, or a Cancer. I'm talking, it could be. That could very much be in your individual reading, but what I'm talking about is learning from the qualities of that. And the Sagittarius energy is about world travel and adventure and expanding your horizons, and it's sitting on this major transition here. And the Sagittarius energy is also the cosmic heartbeat, and I feel like there's a lot of energy moving on the planet, you know, for people to get into place to be in their, destined energy. And look at the Hangman. This is like, maybe the reason you haven't met anyone that's really inspired you in that way is because we're supposed to be in that serious of a commitment with your soulmate, and your intuition told you that. And the rest was more, just always ended up being more casual. We have the shooting star energy. So the shooting star, this is actually something that you've always wished for. And maybe you can even remember when you were a young child that maybe, you know, you wished upon a star, and maybe that's the kind of energy coming in. It's about having a good attitude. We also have in 2026, when this card comes up with the 26 like that, I feel like this is talking about harmony coming back into your life in a real beautiful way. And so I feel that you have met this person. And the Leo energy is about the sun, is ruled by the sun. And it's about being a leader again. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I don't feel like this is just about a lover so much as your destined one, so that you can move into whatever you're supposed to be a leader about. You would know what that is. I'm getting, we're not supposed to know. Like, it's not, it's a very personal thing. And so it's not up to me to say that, but I feel like you do know. If you look at this reading and you look back at those dates and you see what was going on for you, you may be like really surprised, and it'll give you an aha moment. This has been like one of the most mellow readings I've ever done, especially for these ones, but it's a nice change. I do hope you've also enjoyed it. Please do give it a like and comment if you have. It helps me build my channel, and I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing. I'd be honored if you did so. And I'll be back with another reading for mid-March. In the meantime, if you do figure it out and you want to share it, put it in the comment box below, and check it so we can all see what is this mystery here. Bye for now, Scorpio.